Geometry Basics Part 2. In this video, we will learn more about angles and how to use a protractor to measure angles. We can measure the gap between the two arms of the angle by using degrees. A degree is a unit of measurement used for measuring angles. The symbol of degree is given in the box over here. A protractor. We use a protractor to measure angles. If you look at a protractor carefully, you will see that there are two sets of measurements written on it. These are called scales. There is an inner scale and an outer scale, both having 0 degrees to 180 degrees in different direction. The protractor also has a center point and a baseline as shown in the figure over here. Let's now learn how to measure angles using a protractor. In step 1, we place the center of the protractor on the vertex of the angle. In the angle PQR, the vertex of the angle is Q, so we place the center of the protractor at Q. In step 2, we adjust the protractor without shifting the center from the vertex so that one arm of the angle is along the baseline. In angle PQR, the arm QR is along the baseline of the protractor. In step 3, we look at the scale where the baseline arm points to 0 degrees. We see over here that the baseline arm, which is QR, is pointing to 0 degrees of the inner scale. Hence, we will use the inner scale to measure angle PQR. In step 4, we will read the measure of this angle where the other arm crosses the scale. In this angle PQR, the other arm, which is QP, crosses the inner scale at 100. So the measure of angle PQR is equal to 100 degrees. Let us now learn more about angles. These angles are the obtuse angle, acute angle, right angle, and straight angle. Right angles. Look at the figure given over here. In angle ABC, the baseline arm, which is BC, is pointing towards the 0 of the inner scale, and the other arm of the angle, that is BA, is pointing at 90 degrees on the scale. So, an angle which measures 90-degree is called a right angle. Acute angle. The baseline arm BC of the angle ABC points to the 0 degree of the inner scale, and the second arm of the angle, that is BA, crosses the inner scale at 60 degree. So we see that this angle formed is smaller than a right angle. So an angle which is more than 0 degrees but less than 90 degree is called an acute angle. Obtuse angle. In angle CBA, the baseline arm BA of the angle points to 0 degrees of the inner scale. So we use the inner scale to measure the angle CBA. The second arm of the angle, that is BC, crosses the inner scale at 127 degrees. So we see that the angle CBA is more than the right angle. So when an angle is more than 90 degrees but less than 180 degrees, it is called an obtuse angle. Straight angle. It is the same as two right angles next to each other. So it measures exactly 180 degree. So we can see an angle whose measure is 180 degree is called a straight angle. Now let's understand more about measuring angles using both the inner scale and the outer scale. Look at this angle ABC. In angle ABC, the baseline arm, which is BC, points to the 0 degrees of the inner scale. Hence, we will use the inner scale to measure angle ABC. The second arm of the angle, that is AB, crosses the inner scales at 50. So we can say that the measure of angle ABC is equal to 50 degrees, and over here we use the inner scale to measure it. Now look at angle NML. The baseline arm ML of the angle points to the 0 degrees of the outer scale. Hence, we will use the outer scale to measure the angle MNL. The second arm of the angle, that is MN, crosses the outer scale at 40 degrees. Thus, angle NML measures 40 degrees. And over here, we use the outer scale to measure the angle. With this, we come to the end of Geometry Basics Part 2.